We got a package from Lasfit. They sent us an 8-gang switch panel for all of our lighting needs, as well as 4 different stickers that say Lasfit auto LED lighting. We got red, black, and white. We're gonna open this up and see what's inside. This is what it looks like when you open the box. You have your instructions manual, some wiring, looks like a relay, some more wiring, 3M tape, mounting bracket, some other installation parts. You have your fuse box in here. See if I can get it out with one hand. This is their fuse box. I'm gonna pull this off. You also have your switch panel itself. So we're gonna get all of these out of the package and kind of do an overview and then install them on the truck. So after you pull this foam piece out of the box, you have another way of mounting your switch panel, as well as the customizable DIY stickers for your switch as well, so you can label them. This is everything out of the Lasfit switch panel box. You have their fuse box that I did take apart. So you can see on the inside, you have all your fuses in here for your light bars or anything that you're using it for. You have extra fuses. You have your switch panel. I believe that's a relay. They also have super high quality wire loom on these wires. You have your organization DIY stickers for your switch panel. You have your instructions manual, 2 different mounting brackets, zip ties, some extra wiring, and some mounting hardware. We're going to get into installing the switch panel. I will be connecting the pod lights on my bumper to the switch panel because, as you can see where my switches are to turn those pod lights on, down here it just kind of looks messy and ugly, but that's because I was waiting to get a switch panel. We are going to be mounting the switch panel, but I'm not going to be mounting it to my dash or anything like that. I am making a center console soon, so we should be able to bolt it on into there instead of bolting it into the truck itself. So all you're going to want to do is basically just grab the wires that are going to be connecting to your battery, which are the thicker wires in the bag to my right, and you're going to be connecting the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. All you're going to need for this part is a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm socket. You're just going to want to tighten the bolts down pretty tightly so the wires stay in place. You need to install the negative and the positive to the switch panel. This is what it will look like when they're fully installed, and then you're going to want to grab the short positive wire and connect it to your relay. And then you're going to want to grab the longer positive wire that you just connected to your fuse box and connected. So right now you're just going to grab your fuses that came in that little bag and you're going to plug them into here. After you plug them in, this is what they will look like. Sorry for the background noise, but I'm going to be grabbing this and plugging it into here somewhere, and then I'm going to get this end piece and run it through here. And then we're going to get this wire and run it through the engine bay, firewall, crimping it down, and then plugging it into the Lasfit switch panel. So we have everything set up right here, and we're just going to figure out a place to mount it in the engine bay. Engine bay is kind of dirty because it has been raining a lot. So now that we have that wire onto here, we're just going to crimp it onto here, but we are going to make sure that we have enough space to plug it into the switch panel from Lasfit before we crimp it down. So now that we have this wire ran through, we're just going to grab the Lasfit switch panel and figure out where we can mount this so this has enough room to plug in, and then the terminals for the battery have enough room to go all the way to the battery on the left side of the truck. So we're going to have to figure out a mounting spot for that, and then I'll show you what to do. So after you get your wire out, you're just going to want to get a crimper, a wire cutter, and just kind of take the rubber piece off of the wire, cut it down a little bit so you can have more wire to plug it into here when you crimp it. So now that you have it like this, you're just going to want to grab your wire and put it into your butt connector and then crimp it down. So after you crimp it, this is what it will look like. Then you're just going to want to grab your wire and run it back through here so then you get that extra wire in the engine bay. So I had some old wires from my old light bars in the past. They weren't connected to the battery or anything, so while I was in the engine bay, I ended up just taking them out. So it is starting to rain, so I'm going to end up just finishing this tomorrow. So the previous owner drilled some holes into my dash right here. So just for a temporary install to show you guys how to install the mounting brackets, all you need is the provided bolts, the self-tapping screws go into here, and then you have this piece right here that kind of just goes in like so. I have to get it in there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but it kind of goes like this. And then you grab your provided bolts that were connected to this, and you connect everything to your switch panel. So to mount the other part of your mounting bracket, you're just going to grab these little screws that come in your hardware packet, and there's going to be 2 on each side. So you're going to screw 2 here and 2 here, and then you're going to grab this bolt that goes into here, and then it goes into your other mounting bracket. So you're basically just going to want to grab the bolts that came with the actual mounting bracket, and then you're going to want to tighten them wherever you want your switch panel to be. So this is what it looks like when it's fully installed with that mounting bracket. So right now we're just going to get the mounting bracket for the fuse box and mount it somewhere over here, and then get the wires and get it all set up, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So you do have to drill some holes where you're going to be mounting your Lasfit fuse panel. So this is what the switch panel looks like when it's fully mounted. So we're just going to grab some wire, run it over there, because there's a positive over there, run the ground somewhere, and then you got the relay behind it right there. To set up your lighting accessories, all you have to do is go to the Lasfit fuse box, take off the lid, figure out what ampage your lights are running, and then go to the right fuse and install your lights. Now I just have to get wire loom on the wires. So I got it fully installed now, so all you have to do is turn the key on, click this twice, then I have a 20 amp in there, click the 20 amp, then it turns on. So all you have to do to install it, the way I did it was I have a ground wire down here, positive wire is connected to my fuse relay center, and then my pod lights are connected to the Lasfit switch panel fuse box, and then everything's all on this driver's side. So for your labeling stickers, all you have to do is figure out what sticker you're going to use for your actual switch panel, and make sure that you're putting it on the right one so you don't get unorganized or anything like that. But also, if you do mess up and you put them on the wrong one, you can just grab a razor blade and they come right off, and then you can just stick them somewhere where you need to put them. But they have a whole bunch of different options. You get 2 sticker packs just in case maybe you mess up one of the stickers or whatever. And this is what it looks like when the switch panel is off. And this is what it looks like when the switch panel is on. For the Lasfit switch panel, it has 3 different modes. You have latching, momentary, and strobe. This is strobe. All you have to do is hold this button, turns on the strobe. Hold it again. You got latching. You just kind of have to mess around with all the modes. I'm still trying to figure out and learn how to use them.